Armed American Radio's daily defense. Because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the SIG Sauer Studios. On the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Oh, yeah. Welcome in Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Walters here in the SIG Sauer Studios with you on a Tuesday afternoon or evening, depending on when you're listening to the show on a local radio station where you live in your neck of the woods, or whatever time you're listening by podcast. And many, many thousands of you do. We appreciate that. Mark Walters here in front of the Patriot Mobile mic. And it's all being brought to you by the great X Insurance. Greg in Dallas, Texas, how you doing, my brother?
Not too bad.
Why have I been paying $185 a month for DirecTV?
Because you ain't been keeping up on it?
No, I thought I cut the cord a long time ago. What they didn't tell me. No, you know what happened? I like MLB, right? And I've had DirecTV since 2020. Or excuse me, since 2000.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm like one of the original subscribers to that stuff. I was the first one in my neighborhood to move into the neighborhood when the homes were built. And I had DirecTV come out. It was the new thing at the time, the satellite dish, right? I thought that was kind of cool. But I've been with them ever since. I guess it was 2 years ago, lose track of time. I cut my package back, I said, because I got streaming services and stuff. I didn't realize it was for a 1 year period, and I never called them back, and it re-upped.
Yep.
And I wasn't paying no attention. I got so much stuff coming out of checking account, debit account, you don't even know anymore. I looked down today and I went, what is this?
Yeah. Gotta look at that bank account every now and then.
Man. Yeah, well, it's my fault. So I called the guy and I said, man, I can't give you crap. It's my fault. Get my bill down.
Yeah.
He knocked 3/4 of it off and still gave me the MLB package. So there you go. So Greg, mark on your calendar to remind me on March 1st of 2026 to make sure that promotional package doesn't.
Hey Siri, set a calendar notification for March 11th, 2026 to remind Mark to cancel his
to not be stupid.
His DirecTV subscription.
It's the public service announcement of the day, ladies and gentlemen. If you're like me and stuff just flows out automatically, pay attention to that stuff, okay? Because good heavens, I've been paying an awful lot of money. I don't even watch it anymore. I don't even know how to use a remote. So my wife can watch Hallmark Christmas movies for a month.
Oh.
And I can watch baseball. Oh, well. So there you go. There's your public service.
That's right.
Greg, we're streaming everywhere today. If you would be kind enough to tell people where to go to do all that fun stuff and get in on the chat. And we'll go to our guest, Lee the Gunwriter Williams.
Sure, if you want to watch the show, just search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters over on Rumble, YouTube, and Fascist Book. If you'd like to join our live chat, all you have to do is head over to your app store, grab the Telegram messaging app, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
That'll do it. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, my brother from another mother. How you doing, man?
Good, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah, make sure you check your accounts. Don't get ripped off like I did.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I mean, so much TV. Cut the cord, okay? Oh man, got all these different streaming services. I've probably been paying $500 a month to watch TV and didn't even know it.
Oh my God!
And I don't watch
that
like much TV.
20 years ago.
Oh, God,
20 years ago pricing.
Good heaven! Well, I'm including all the streaming stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Amazon, the Netflix, all that stuff. Good heavens! I saw that today and went, oh no, man. Anyway, whatever. How you been doing? Everything good?
Yeah, busier than hell.
Well, we're going to cover some of your busy stuff, but I want to let you know now we've got you for 3 segments today because we taped Lee Wamganas from Patriot Mobile, who is at a gun rights rally in Texas. I'll get it out. But she's down there on site with Patriot Mobile, and guys, wait till you hear what she had to say about your Second Amendment rights, man. If you ever had any doubts about Patriot Mobile supporting your gun rights, make sure you're listening to the 4th segment that we taped up with Lee today. She's wonderful. Good heavens, it was beautiful. But Lee, I was on 97.1 FM with my good friend Mark Cox this morning, and we talked about a number of issues, national reciprocity, all that fun stuff. And he immediately pointed to your story on ATF. Mark Cox, just is enthralled with your writing and investigative journalism over there, particularly as it pertains to the ATF. And you are at it again. I even told him, I said, I hope you're being careful Because, man, you are laying it on the line with these thug, rogue, unconstitutional dirtbags over there at the ATF. And if you're an ATF agent listening, too bad. That's my thoughts on you. But your latest piece is ATF's own documents show it is corrupt and ripe for replacement. Now, let me just throw this out. You went to the ATF Los Angeles Field Division, Detroit Field Division, New York Field Division, Chicago Field Division, St. Paul, Minnesota Field Division, Phoenix Field Division, Tampa Field Division, Miami Field Division, Atlanta Field Division, Dallas Field Division. Did I miss any? Did I get them all?
You got them all, brother. There's 22 of them total.
And fraud, you're finding corruption. To me, it's fraud. Tell listeners what you found. My God, it's mind-boggling, folks. It just gets worse.
Well, every Friday afternoon, the ATF sends out press releases. Every one of its 25 field divisions is supposed to, although this one they only sent out 20. 20 field divisions only are the ones that complied. The rest must have sat it out. Now, you got to sign up to receive these emails. They usually start rolling in around 3 p.m. on Friday afternoon. Next thing you know, you look at your inbox and you got 20, 25 emails. They describe a variety of actions. Usually they try and grab something from a U.S. attorney to make it look like ATF did something. They don't. Brother, I'm telling you, I had 22 examples. Only 2 of them were where the ATF actually did something. They went out and conducted an investigation. 20 of them involved something happening. Usually arrests were made by local cops who found a gun that was stolen, or they noticed that somebody had a felony and he was in possession of a firearm. Right. ATF takes all of these emails and puts them out there like they're the ones that have done it. But these guys don't even leave their offices. Well, I'm sure now with the furloughs and working from home, that they probably haven't seen their offices. Wow. I mean, you know, you've got hardworking cops out there making arrests, putting people in jail, and then you've got the ATF taking credit for it. Every single arrest.
All right, so let me set up an example. You tell me if I'm on the right track here, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about here would be, and Lee, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you got your hardworking cops. I don't know, pick a field office. Let's say, well, you said Tampa. That's my home stomping grounds. So you got Tampa PD down there, makes an arrest, pops somebody with a firearm or firearms, shouldn't have them, makes the arrest, and then what do? After the arrest is made and this clown lunatic is in jail, they send this information over to investigation for the ATF on the firearms that they found. And the ATF puts out an email every Friday, and they take credit for that arrest.
ATF will come in usually and do some paperwork, try and get the guy lodged, even though he's already in jail.
Right.
They'll try and get some federal charges usually. And then, boom, they take credit for it. And I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I was in law enforcement. I can't imagine acting like this and doing and behaving like this. It's incredible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen, man. And that's all they're doing. And if you read the press releases, you know, they'll send you a link. Federal prosecutors charge 126 previously removed illegal aliens. Yeah, ATF's in there. They're one of like 30 federal agencies mentioned. You know, like I said, only two of them involved actual ATF investigations. The rest is all this after the fact crap.
Yeah, and I noticed they had a press release out from St. Paul Field Division. ATF was one of 15 law enforcement agencies named in the press release, which also stated numerous other law enforcement agencies also contributed to this investigation without actually naming the one that did the lion's share of the work, which was not them.
Right. I know. It's crazy. They're just trying to get it out there that, hey, man, we're really doing some good work. We're doing some hard work. No, they're not.
That means don't bring Doge in here. Keep Elon Musk away from us.
Yeah, Miami did a massive press release on some suspected Tren de Agua guys. ATF wasn't even mentioned in their press release. And that was the only press release issued by ATF's Miami Field Division last week.
And they weren't even involved.
30.
No, they're not anywhere in the press release whatsoever.
Wow. You know, I guess ATF, it doesn't shock me, guys, because that's what you do. You got to justify your existence. Here's an idea. If you're going to commit fraud like that, well, I was going to say be honest about it, but if you're honest about it, then everybody sees right through you, which is why we bring it to your attention. And Lee, I got to thank you again for staying all over the ATF. Just a bunch of rogue dirtbags at that agency who are doing nothing but infringing on you, ladies and gentlemen, period. That's their sole game. Wow. If you're an ATF agent still, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're one of the good guys waiting around for some changes to occur. In the meantime, you know what you ought to be doing if you're in one of those field offices? Go to work for the local PDs that are actually doing the work. Go back when cash fixes it, if it's even possible. We'll be back with Lee. Don't go away.
Is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit
patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show. Patriot Mobile, you'll hear from Lee at Patriot Mobile, who I taped earlier today in between speeches that she was giving at the Gun Owners of America Gun Rights Rally Group and the Gun Owners of Texas group down there. And, man, she was just explosive on your gun rights, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they are absolutely the real deal. You will love what you hear from them. I promise you're going to love that segment with Lee because it's the real deal. It'll make you want to switch your phone. I can promise you that. I knew that in advance. That's why I did that, and switch one of my phones as well. I was still working on the others, but good heavens, man, what a great company. Welcome back to the SIG Sauer Studios, also another great company. Hopefully we'll be up at SIG in the next couple months, giving you a broadcast from up there. We'll be up at Bud's Gun Shop at some point in Sevierville, Tennessee, coming up real soon. Lots going on. So welcome back in, Lee the Gunwriter Williams. I'll let you put a final stamp on that ATF nonsense from those rogue goons over there, and then we'll move on to something else.
Real quickly, I'm going to get this to Kash Patel, their new acting director, who's also DOJ head. We'll see what he does. He hasn't said anything yet about what he wants to do to ATF.
Yeah.
We all know that President Trump and his crew are pretty busy right now. I just hope they get around to it soon. I don't think we need an ATF anymore.
All right. Well, I said we're going to get away from ATF. You have one other story about them I want to cover, but we'll split it up. Go back to ATF in a few minutes. But so what do you think he is going to do? As each day passes, I wonder what we're going to see. And I was talking with Eli Crane, U.S. House Rep from Arizona, and he said he didn't know either. He wasn't sure what was going to happen, but he was very hopeful that the ATF would get cleaned out. And like everybody else, he wants them gone as well. What do you think?
Well, I look at it this way. Kash is running DOJ and ATF. I'm sorry, he's running FBI and ATF. Can you imagine actually being responsible for both organizations and everything they do? I mean, my God, man. So I'm thinking at some point he's going to do a major hopefully he gets rid of ATF. That would be the goal. Hopefully he at least gets rid of all those armed agents out there who are running around doing nothing but scaring the law abiding and shooting people for no reason, like they did Brian Malinowski.
Yeah.
You get rid of the armed force, and that would be great. I'd like to see the whole organization gone. That's probably why Kash is running this too. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Well, I hope you're right. And I said the same thing to Eli, Representative Crane, but I don't know. I've spoken to Kash before, and I can tell you it's my gut feeling that he probably feels that way as well. I say probably, based on my conversations with him. But at the same time, you're right. He's got a lot going on. Let's face it, the ATF never had a director for years.
Right.
It was always an acting director or somebody behind the scenes, whatever. But hopefully Kash reins that rogue agency in. Hopefully he does. That's my personal opinion. I think he's going to do that. But, I could be
I don't see him not doing that. I can't see him not doing that, just given who he is and what he's done and what he stands for.
Well, like everybody else in Washington, they're all finding everybody's coming in with the Trump team, and he's got a great cabinet. But they're all finding the deep state is deeper than they thought it was.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time. And I actually felt bad for Bondi, who goes in there gangbusters. I have no doubt that that's what she was doing. I know people who know her and have spoken to her. I personally have not, but I get it from some very reliable sources. And the fact of the matter is that, they go in like gangbusters when they get all this stuff taken care of. And then all of a sudden they realize, ruh-roh, it's a little bit deeper and worse than I thought it was. So they've got a ton of work to do, a ton of work to do, and they'll do it. And I do want to throw some accolades out to Caroline Levitt today, who, wow, man, she gave a press conference today. Lee, I don't know if you caught it, but she is, in my book, the best White House press secretary this country's ever had, at least in my lifetime that I can recall. I mean, this woman is on her game and has a bright future ahead of her. I laugh at the way she handles the media. Let's go over to the young woman in the purple. I saw her making a snide face when over there. What can I answer for you? It's just brilliant to watch. If I'm KJP, I'm like, crawling under a rock at this point, not going public with anything because Carolyn Levitt is just crushing the media every single day. Do you feel the same way?
I've never wanted to watch the press conferences as much as I do now. Yeah. I mean, my God, man, it's like she has 80 cups of coffee or something. Yeah. And then she just goes out and slaughters the media. And you can tell there are a lot less dumb questions. Her method of operation is having an effect.
Well, they can't pull anything over on her, and they know it.
Yeah.
They know they're going to get a straight answer. And what's beautiful to see is what comes out of her head. Numbers, facts, places, names.
Without notes, without that huge embarrassing notebook.
Yeah. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And, ever since Trump's election, my advice prior to the election was quit waking up and watching that stuff. But I'm like you in that respect. I love getting up and watching it now and seeing what liberals he's pissing off. And all you got to do is go to X, formerly known as Twitter, and read Blumenthal and Murphy and, what's his name? They got a couple water carriers over there that have large followings, but you don't really know who they are. But they're out there carrying the Democrats' water, and they're doing what you would expect them to do, and that's attack Trump. It's Trump putting us in a recession. It's Trump's inflation. It's all Trump's fault. Guy's been in office for 51 days, and it's all Donald Trump's fault. And she was up there just throwing it right back in their face. It was wonderful to watch. So, Lee, you're probably familiar with the case in Illinois where Second Amendment Foundation, it was found FOID cards to be unconstitutional. You're familiar with that?
Oh, yes, sir.
Didn't you used to live in Washington State in probably not too long ago, not too far of a distant galaxy away, right? But you were out there working with SAF.
I did.
I don't know.
Did you about a year?
Did you happen to see what's going on in Washington now? Because the Dems just don't get it. Bill to require permit to purchase guns in Washington clears the State House. Now, folks, if you live in Washington, and a lot of you do who are listening to this program, in a number of major cities, Olympia, you're listening in Seattle and Everett and some other places, but Spokane. But good heavens, a proposal to require a permit and the completion of a safety course to purchase firearms, Lee.
Yeah,
just cleared the House yesterday. Look, it's going to clear the Senate, and it will be signed into law. Meanwhile, it's been found to be unconstitutional in Illinois. I don't know why it wouldn't be unconstitutional in Washington if it's unconstitutional in Illinois, but I guess that's going to depend on who the judge is when this thing gets challenged.
And they don't care when they pass these laws. Yeah. They don't look at how their bill or any version of their bill has done in other states, or even how it's done in the Supreme Court. They don't care. They just want to impact the rights negatively of the people that are unfortunate enough to live in that damn state.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get out, you live there. If you can get out, get out. It's House Bill, for those of you that want to know, and I'm speaking really specifically to you Washington listeners, House Bill 1163, sponsored by Representative Liz Berry, Democrat, Seattle. Imagine that. Now, it requires a 5-year permit through the Washington State Patrol. State Police, got to check with the cops before you can exercise your right to buy a gun. And submit your fingerprints along with an application and a certificate confirming the completion of a safety course within the last 5 years. We'll be back with Lee.
Daniel Defense firearms are guaranteed for life, trusted worldwide, and designed, engineered, and manufactured right here in America. Daniel Defense, freedom, passion, precision.
Yeah, freedom, passion, and precision. That is Daniel Defense. Welcome back, guys, to the SIG SAUER Studios. Make sure to check out Daniel Defense at danieldefense.com. Get on that email list, ladies and gentlemen. They got some really cool stuff out there. Really cool stuff. And Marty's been making some videos in support of NRA. I want you to watch that stuff. You make up your own mind on that. I did re-up my membership to the National Rifle Association, which did expire in 2023. And, I hope you do too. The nation needs a lean, mean NRA to get back to its focus. And I think the organization is probably on the right track. So nonetheless, I'll be at the NRA convention this year in April as well. And I'll be there at the Patriot Mobile booth, and I'll be there with Ammo Squared, so you can come hang out with us, shake our paws. It's a big consumer show, so it's always good to meet people out there. So make sure you do that if you're going to head to Atlanta for the NRA show. Stop by either of those two booths, and you'll see us there on Friday and Saturday. And I'll likely, maybe, be toting around AW or Hawkins from Breitbart News. You just never know. You just never know. But it's always fun to meet with everybody there, and it's close enough for me now. I don't have to go too far out of my way, 50 miles or something stupid like that. Make sure to check out all of our partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com, emersonKnives.com, patriotsrelief.com for the pain medication. Use it every single morning. Went to an orthopedic surgeon this morning, and he says, wow, it's not hurting anymore. I said, no. And I told him what I was using. He said, keep using it. Check it out for yourself. patriotsrelief.com, patriotsrelief.com. Leave the Gunwriter Williams. Welcome back in, brother.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Love having you. Always love having you. So, I'm going to cover a story. I don't want to go back to ATF with you yet. Hopefully we don't have time to go back to ATF yet. I'm sick of talking I'm just so tired of talking about them, but we have to, and we will. So we'll finish with that other story you have, because they're too busy doing other things instead of going after retail theft. We'll go there in a minute. But I don't know, Lee, if you saw the story. It popped in on a Fox News alert with me at 4 a.m. this morning, and I happened to be awake when it popped in. Pro-criminal, blue state sheriff unloads on disgusting bill targeting the right to self-defense. This is a California AB 1333, I believe it is. It's 1333. I'll double check that. But it was filed by a Democrat by the name of Rick Z-B-U-R. Zburr. Rick Burr. Is the Z silent? Rick Zurr, the B silent? I don't know. He's a Democrat. It really doesn't make any difference. But California Sheriff is speaking out against it. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, to be specific, about this bill, saying it's just the most asinine thing he's ever seen. And it is Assembly Bill 1333 there, to make that correction. Was introduced in California 2 weeks ago. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco gained traction on social media, according to Fox, with a post reacting to the bill, which he says, Lee, will essentially make self-defense illegal in the state. Now, why would California want to do that? See, what it is, it's a duty to retreat, right? Okay, with some teeth in it. And here's what the sheriff had to say. This assembly member has come up with this. If it was his idea, he certainly has absolutely no business being an assembly member representing people. And what my knowledge is of how things happen in Sacramento, I'm not giving him an out, because he certainly had some talking points for this bill. But these are bills written by special interest groups, folks. And the majority of the special interests in Sacramento are pro-criminal. And Lee, he goes on to explain that what this does is provides absolutely no fear for the criminal. They can rob you. You have to run away. It doesn't matter who you're with. You have to run away. Imagine being a young mom pushing a shopping cart with a baby in it, okay? And you're about ready to get your purse snatched or your food ripped off, which is probably more valuable than what you have in your purse at this day and age. Thanks, Biden, not Trump, by the way. And you got to run away. Run away, run away. And when you run away, the criminal's left everything of yours is for the taking, and they don't get screwed. You do. And this sheriff is over it. He is over it. He says they want criminals to thrive. It's just bizarre to me. How could you even have the thought process that says people should not be able to protect themselves? Is beyond me. Honestly, I don't understand it. And I've never heard a sane, legitimate argument otherwise. Lee, I bet you agree with the good sheriff in Riverside County.
100%. I can't imagine that. It's going to take somebody actually not running away. It's going to take somebody defending themselves, maybe putting a bad guy down to get charged and go through the whole turmoil of the local courts, the state courts, and then finally the Supreme Court to get this type of crap overturned. God forbid it ever becomes law. It's maddening.
Well, the sheriff says, I mean, he's so flabbergasted, he doesn't think it's going to become law. Now, if he's from California, he ought to know better than that.
Yeah.
Because in all likelihood, it will. Again, we'll have to watch and see. But he says, and I quote the sheriff again, this is basically saying if someone approaches you and is going to rob you or steal your stuff or harm you, your only option is to run, and they get whatever they want. If they're there to steal your car and or your purse or your wallet or to harm your wife or your kids, your only option is to run away from them. They get to do whatever it is they want, and you just have to run away. And this is like the absolute ultimate display of zero consequence for criminal behavior. Sadly, Lee, what this is this is what reminds me of that old adage, right? It's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. We hear that's bumper sticker logic. But this is what California is forcing people to have to make this decision. I'm going to shoot to defend my family. I may get arrested. I'm going to be alive. My family's going to be alive, and they're not going to get my stuff, but I may be charged with a crime for defending myself and my family. And sadly, it's going to take somebody with some cojones that's going to be willing to do that and face the consequences. Lee, it's just maddening.
Well, and the thing is, you never know how far the bad guy's going to go. Is he going to grab your wallet and run away?
Yeah.
Maybe. Is he going to grab your wallet, your wife, and your kid and run away with all three? Maybe. You just don't know. You're putting your hands and your life and your family in the hands of somebody who's a bad hombre, or he wouldn't be doing this. He's drunk or high or crazy or whatever.
Or
and
wants to be.
Trusting him. Yeah. You're just trusting him not to harm you and your family? No. That's why God invented the 9mm, brother.
Yeah, this guy's running for sheriff, or excuse me, running for governor of California, by the way. And he says, and I quote from Fox, he's on the ground talking to Californians every day, and he has yet to run into someone who supports this bill. But California doesn't care. They don't care.
No.
If their constituents support the bill. This is agenda-driven stuff, and he's right. This is special interest nonsense. And who do you think he's talking about when he says special interest groups wrote the bill? Who could he possibly be talking about? Do you want to harbor a guess? You know?
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's pretty obvious. And that's the maddening thing, too, that these things can get this far. I would love for somebody to try that where I live now in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, they think you're redneck.
Entertaining.
They think you're a vigilante because you want to defend yourself. But I'll tell you who it is. It's the BFGs, ladies and gentlemen, and those are the Bloomberg-funded groups. And you can pick the name out of a hat. It's going to be one of them or all of them. And you have to ask yourself, why do they support these bills? Why would they embolden criminals? Some of them live in California. Do they not have kids? Do they not care about criminals? I mean, it really, truly is mind-boggling to believe there are people out there who want to protect criminals. And we saw that with all the Soros DAs and everything else. It's truly crazy. It is insane. And there's a psychological thing going on here with these people. But keep it up, guys. Go ahead and keep it up. This is why you're never going to win another national election ever again. You might in a crazy lunatic blue state. But that tide is turning because people know they have a right. Right? They know, Lee, they have an inherent right to defend their lives. They just know it. Real quick, I've got to take you over to ATF, too busy harassing legit gun dealers to investigate rifle theft. I'll let you take it to the music.
30.
Paul
30
Sabo, he purchased Shooter's Emporium in 2020. It's about 45 minutes north of Indianapolis. He got some bad vibes when he bought the store about an employee who he later terminated. An in-house audit revealed that this bad employee, took a Ruger American rimfire worth about $350. So he, calls the cops, reports it to the ATF. ATF tells him to go to local police. So they charge the guy under state crimes of theft.
Yeah.
Now, 3 years later, he's still waiting for a trial date that never comes.
Yeah, and they probably sent something out to the field office saying that they did such a great job. Lee, I love you. I got to cut you off there because we've got Patriot Mobile coming up next. Thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, read Lee, armedamericannews.com, and the Second Amendment Foundation. We'll be back. Thanks, Lee.
Daily Defense is being brought to you by Daniel Defense. Visit DanielDefense.com. Now, back to the show.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues here on a Tuesday afternoon. Welcome back to the studios with me, the SIG Sauer studios to be exact. Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom in front of the Patriot Mobile mic at the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center. It's all being brought to you by the great X Insurance. Now we're going to have some fun. We're going to go to Austin, Texas. And this is going to be a great time, ladies and gentlemen, for the segment because we've got Lee Wamsgans with us from Patriot Mobile. You might remember when I interviewed her in Knoxville at the Gun Owners of America meeting, first annual meeting, middle of last year. Let's go to Lee. Lee, welcome in. How are you today? Thank you for joining us from Austin.
Hey, I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks so much for having me. I'm here with a ton of Patriots. We sponsored 4 buses picking up from 7 cities. And we have a packed house here in our state's capital of Austin, Texas, to lobby for gun rights and to, stay a free people.
Lee, I have to, you just mentioned it's a packed house. Here's the reason I asked that, because for years, our side, meaning the gun rights organizations and activists, have had such a difficult time getting crowds to show up. I wouldn't guess that would be a problem in Texas. Am I right? You got a good crowd there today. Can you tell us about the crowd?
It's a great crowd. And we picked up from Corpus Christi, San Antonio,
Wow.
Grapevine, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Frisco, and Waxahachie, and several other people drove their own vehicles here. It is standing room only. I think the room for the morning event looks like maybe 300 people, and we have not enough chairs, people standing. It's awesome. This is a group effort. So Gun Owners of America, as you mentioned, Texas Gun Rights. I like their slogan. Their slogan is no compromise. And we cannot compromise on our Second Amendment rights. At Patriot Mobile, we believe the whole shall not be infringed words mean something. And what it means is our Second Amendment rights shall not be infringed. A citizenry without the right to bear arms are no longer citizens, they're subject.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. And I have to ask this question. And I mentioned this to Glenn when I was talking with him last week, Lee. If you've got a cell phone, ladies and gentlemen, why would you not have your service with an organization like this? Lee, you just gave bold words in support of the Second Amendment. I can't imagine I would hear that from any other cell phone carrier.
Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee you that there is no other mobile service provider out there fighting for people's rights to bear arms. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We're on all the 3 major towers nationwide, 4G, 5G. You can bring your same phone. You can port your phone number over. We have a lot of different products and services. And the cool thing about us is when you call us, we are all U.S.-based customer service. And when you work for Patriot Mobile, you get used to seeing everyone with guns on their hips. We're well trained. We understand our rights. Liberals really don't want to work for us, and that's okay. Perfectly fine with us. And we've got to support each other. I feel like this red economy is emerging. I think with the 2020 startup of BLM, and we started to realize all of the corporate money going into these woke leftist organizations that hate America and want to take our rights away. So people started coming together and banding together for such a time as this, right? And it's really cool that all of these different groups today are coming together, and it does my heart. It does amazing things for my heart to see this packed house.
You know what it does for me to hear you say these things? It's just fantastic because, again, I was laughing when you said I have to go back. It's God, guns, guts, the Second Amendment, and Patriot Mobile. It all rolled into one.
There you go.
I can't imagine hearing that from some other carrier who we know. And I won't name carrier names. I don't have to name carrier names. Ladies and gentlemen, you can figure it out for yourself. But I want you to ask yourself this question. If you don't have a Patriot Mobile phone, does your carrier support gun rights like you just heard Lee mention, boldly exclaiming support for your right to bear arms? It's fantastic. I'm so glad you have a huge crowd there in Texas. I can't tell you how many times I've been to a lot of events and been disappointed. Crowd size was good, but we would love to see it 50,000 instead of 5, And so it's really good to see it at the Capitol. So is the event scattered all over the Capitol grounds? You've got 4 buses. Is it inside, outside? What's the weather? How's it?
So we are. So what the schedule is today? We're inside right now. I just finished my on stage time and came out to talk to you. And then at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a press conference. And then what we do is we get divided up and we get our documents that we are going to go hand out. I mean, everyone thinks Texas is so conservative, but let me tell you something, that hasn't happened without a fight. We have over 100 bills currently filed right now in our Texas House that take our rights away. Everything from red flag laws to gun registration and, all of the above. So it's really kind of, unconscionable. People don't believe these things happen in Texas. Well, these things happen in Texas. And I always tell people you could never rest on your laurels. They say, well, we have the Second Amendment. Well, you know what? The Second Amendment can be chipped away to where you have nothing. And as I said before, a citizen without gun rights becomes a subject. You
better believe it. And I have to make this point. You talk about Texas. Great point. Texas is also the former home of Sheila Jackson Lee. Texas is also the home of that moron Al Green that made a fool of himself on the floor of the House of Representatives during Trump's speech last week. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me say this over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if you live in a red state. It certainly does make a difference. Obviously, you're a little bit more free in a red state, but it doesn't matter. They're still coming after you day after day after day. So let me ask this. How are you feeling about what you're seeing from the Trump administration so far?
Wow, what a great start. I think he's done more in weeks than has ever been done by any other president their entire terms. So we are really excited about what we're seeing. And as I said, we're here at the state, but we have to fight it on the federal level. You've got to fight it on your county level, and you've got to fight this anti-gun lobby on your city level as well. I'm literally sitting across the street from the Texas Capitol in Austin. And as I said before, there's 100 of these bills that were filed. And these bills are reminiscent, and this is Texas, because we have a lot of those liberals here.
Oh, yeah.
These bills are reminiscent of totalitarian nations that come before us, and in every circumstance. The civilian disarmament started with what? Gun registration. It's always followed by the banning and confiscation of firearms. And this is the first mechanism to start oppression, like the National Socialists of Nazi Germany, the communists of former Soviet Union, and the fascist states like Italy was under Mussolini, who was, the father of fascism. Gun registration is a gateway to confiscation, and it's preceded with genocide.
You better believe it. Tell people where they can go to Patriot Mobile and sign up. Ladies and gentlemen, if this doesn't do it for you, I don't know what is. The phone I'm on right now is a Patriot Mobile phone. Lee, tell people where they can go.
972 Patriot, and just be sure and tell them you heard this with the gun rights lobby event, and they'll make sure to give you a good discount.
You better believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee, thank you for being here. It's so fun to talk to you. I can't wait to see you at NRA. Can't wait to see you at the GOA and all the other events. And I know you guys are sponsoring Jason Aldean, so my daughter wants to have a conversation with you pretty soon.
Oh, yes. You got my number. Tell her to call me.
You count on it. And you guys are sponsoring the event there as well. Thank you so much, all of you at Patriot Mobile, for supporting our gun rights. Lee, we love you guys. We'll see you here in just about another month in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. That's Lee Wamsgans from Patriot Mobile, everybody. PatriotMobile.com, PatriotMobile.com. Thank you, Lee, for being here. Armed American Radio will be back again tomorrow. We're going to get up and do it again because they don't want us to. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and we'll see you on the radio.
You've just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. On the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it. Patriot Mobile, Lee is unbelievable. And to hear a statement like that come from a corporation, and one of the leaders of that corporation is very bold indeed. They support your gun rights, unlike any other organization outside of a gun company or somebody in the firearms industry that I have ever heard before. They are literally the real deal. So make sure to check them out, patriotmobile.com, patriotmobile.com. And, why would you give your money to some woke company that uses your money to fund against you? It doesn't make any sense. So we're making the switch here. It takes a little bit of time. Like I said, I've got a number of phones, and I got to get a few of them paid off first before I make that jump. But I've already made the jump on one phone. You can do the same thing. Visit patriotmobile.com, patriotmobile.com. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. I appreciate it very much. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. We're going to get up and do it again precisely because they don't want us to. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow, guys.